thus far, we know 10 of the games that will come on the Genesis Mini as of April 3rd, 2019. The 10 games that have been confirmed by Sega are Sonic the Hedgehog, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, Space Harrier 2, Shining Force, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Toe Jam and Earl, Comic Zone, Altered Beast, and Gunstar Heroes. So that's what we know thus far. These are 10 games coming up that I anticipate will be part of the 40 games that they plan to include. So 25%. And these are the 25%, aka 10 games that I expect will be announced at some point. Here's one. Toy Story. Yeah, I know people get kind of funny about the gameplay, but based on the graphics, it was groundbreaking for the Genesis, if you will. So from a graphical standpoint, I'm going with Toy Story being on the system. I'm going with a couple more Sonic games in terms of a Sonic collection, and hopefully they count the Sonic games as one game so we can get a few more extra games like Sonic 1 through 3, Sonic and Knuckles, and whatever else. Hopefully it could count as some kind of one game kind of thing. At least 1 through 3 count as one game as a Sonic collection. Maybe we'll get lucky enough and do that so we can have more games on it. I only played Sonic 2 on the Game Gear, but I never had it on the Genesis. I had 1 and 3. I enjoyed those. 2 on the Game Gear. It was kind of cool for what it was, but as we all know, the Game Gear had battery life issues. You had to be constantly plugged into it, so eventually I put that down and, over time, got rid of that. Phantasy Star, Sega's RPG, what they're known for. Outrun, we finally had a home version of it. We all remember that from the arcade if we were of a certain age. The Outruns, and we eventually remember Cruising USA, which was essentially we only saw on Nintendo systems. Earthworm Jim, expect to see that. Mortal Kombat, I'm not sure which one they're going to put on there, but this is what made Genesis what the Super Nintendo wasn't. Having Mortal Kombat on there, and all you need was a blood code. Had that edge to it. So hopefully, I expect to see, it might be a little difficult, but I do expect them to separate themselves from the Super NES Classic, and even from that time frame, being that they will have Mortal Kombat with the blood, the first one. I would like to see the second one, but I'm not sure we're going to get that. Hopefully we can get it as a collection where they give us 1, 2, 3 and say, hey, this counts as one game. My favorite was 2. I rented 3. It was okay. I even rented Trilogy on PlayStation later on down the line. It was okay. 1 was cool, but my favorite was 2. I expect to see Virtua Racer because the only game that used the SVP chip, if memory serves correctly. And even though you had a lot of dithering in terms of like the way the colors would display, but that was groundbreaking for having those 3D graphics. I would like to see them use the 32X version and put that on there and have some kind of side game, since I know they can't make a 32X in the Sega CD Classic. Maybe give it a little something extra bonus with 32X and Sega CD, and takes a couple of the good games from each. And hey, take the Virtua Racer from 32X, and going back to Mortal Kombat, take the Mortal Kombat from 32X, if you will. And CD, hey, you know what? Why not throw in the Night Traps of the Sega CD or even that version of Mortal Kombat as well? So it would be cool to see that, and maybe even that Batman game. I think that was pretty popular with the Sega CD. So just, if they could put a couple of Sega CD and 32X games on there, I think that would really take it over the edge. But yeah, let's get back to the list. Streets of Rage, that's a given. Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist, that was a good game. I enjoyed it, and I think it got a lot of good reviews at the time. So I would like to see the Ninja Turtles Hyperstone Heist. And I don't know, am I 10? Yeah. This should make 10. Road Rash, because that was a cool game in the arcade. Cool when it came to consoles, and that was a lot of fun. And just made sure saying, "Hey, we edgy over here with Sega." The edgy characters is being sounding more edgy than Mario, and that'd be good to have that. And for a little bonus game, I would like to see NBA Jam, but I'm not sure how the licensing will work. But the other retro console, being the SNES Classic, didn't put that on there. And if Sega can get it right, they should put NBA Jam on that. It's a fun game. That's where we get all the phrases from like, boom shakalaka, oh my, he's on fire, etc. So that was like a cultural thing. That was big time. Arcade, coming to console, and they should put NBA Jam on it. I had original. I'm not sure. I think I might try Tournament Edition, rented, back in the day, Blockbusters, what have you. But I'm not sure if I cared for it as much as the first one. But yeah, the original NBA Jam, a classic. And I would like to see that on there, but I'm not putting it as part of my 10. This is just a little extra bonus, because I'm not sure how the licensing will work with the NBA or any other kind of thing that you have to deal with when you're dealing with the sports games like that. So yeah, that's a list of 10 of what I expect to see on the Sega Genesis Mini. That's my take. Iceberg Jim out. Deuces.